everybody. So we're going to do what I call a Monday practice. Those of you that have been doing the Monday class with me know what that means. Basically, it is a gentler style of yoga. Doesn't mean we're not working. It just means that we're working differently. So it's a more subtle approach. So everything's going to be seated or lying down, maybe on the knees. So you might need a blanket to sit on or a blanket to go under the knees. You might need blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use a stack of books or just something, a piece of wood. We're basically just going to use it to prop the knees in supine twists, okay? So we're going to play here for a moment. Take a moment when you're ready. Make yourself comfortable. Get your blanket underneath you if you need to. And take a long, slow inhale. Let that breath go through the nose. Do that again. This time, rise the shoulders forward and up on the inhale. Back and down on the exhale. And do that again. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Bring the hands to the side. Inhale, draw the arms up. And exhale, bring them down. So as we move through this range of motion, you're going to inhale up and exhale down. The breath we begin with is Samavriti. It's a balanced inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale through the nose, same length and same soft texture. One more breath. And bring the hands to the knees or to the ankles for seated cat-cow. The ankles give you the best support. You're going to rock forward, round the spine, and rock back. Do it again. Inhale and exhale. Now you can keep hands on the ankles for the best support. A little less support might mean hands on the knees. A little less support, a little more core activation might be hands at the heart center. And again, this is really unsupported, being very gentle. One more breath. Maybe extend the arms out. And again, this is unsupported, forward, so take your time. Maybe the hands need to go back to the knees. Do that one more time. And come back to center. Release the hands to the side. We're going to spiral open through the shoulders. We're going to alternate side angle stretch. So we're going to inhale up and exhale down. Do that on the other side. Inhale up and exhale down, side to side. Inhale. The hand that is resting on the floor doesn't carry any real weight. You'll notice I'm on cupcake hands, right? Fingertips, and the elbow goes soft. Do it one more time. We'll come back to these and make them more interesting. As we come back to center, we're going to inhale up. You're going to rotate to the right, tap the floor, tap the thigh, come right back up, inhale. Around to the other side, exhale, inhale, and exhale. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Come back to center. And you're going to come to hands and knees. Get there any way you can. You can put a blanket under your knees. If the wrists are the issue, you can put a blanket underneath your wrists. But you want to be hands and knees, tabletop. We'll go to cat-cow from here. Round the spine, let the head hang. And then lengthen out. Take shoulder blades back. Lengthen out through the heart center. Inhaling as we look forward, exhaling as we round. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. And come back to your hands and knees tabletop. Take a little bit of a modified plank. So hands come forward, shift the shoulders forward, engage the belly. We don't let the hips drop. Push the floor away. We're going to anchor the hands, right? You're going to Velcro them to the mat. Inhale here. And with your hands anchored, move back in the direction of child's pose. You're not going to stay. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, take it back. The hands are anchored, so release happens under the shoulder blades, maybe under the arms themselves, maybe down into the back body. Two more times. Remember, as you come forward, don't let the belly drop or the hips drop. One more time. The next time you're forward, stay forward and lower down. Now you can roll down or you can lower down using the arms, whatever's better for your body. Baby cobras, peel yourself up, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. You're gonna do that one more time. Inhale and exhale, and push back to hands and knees and sink all the way back to child's pose. Knees can go wide or close together. You can stay on forearms. You can make fists or stack hands. If your knees don't like the angle, you keep the tush up. What works best for your body, where you are today. One more breath. And come back up to hands and knees. Let's play with spinal stabilization, so take your moment. On an exhale, draw the navel center in. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Extend the right arm out and the left leg back. Stay in breathing. One more breath. On the exhale, lower down and switch sides. Reach out. Remember, if you can, to try and turn the thumb up towards the ceiling and really lengthen out through the leg. One more breath. On the exhale, lower down. Now move with the breath. Inhale, extend, and exhale, release. Inhale, extend, and exhale, release. Smooth and steady action. And one more set. Last time. And a big cat stretch. Release tension in the low back. Lengthen out. So we're going to put together a little flow here. We're going to take the hands forward. Anchor them on the mat. Inhale as you come forward. Exhale as you lower down. And you can lower straight down or roll. Inhale, find Cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, push away from the mat. Move towards child's pose, but don't stay. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. Inhale, push away from the mat. And exhale, move towards child's pose. Keep going. Keep breathing. You're going to move at your own pace. Let each breath dictate how far, how long. You don't have to keep up with me. Or if there's somebody at home practicing with you, you don't have to keep up with them either. So it'll be an inhale that carries you forward and an exhale that lowers you down. An inhale that lifts the heart and an exhale that releases. Inhale pushes up. Exhale sinks back. I'm going to do it one more time. Forward and down. Lift and release. Push up. Now release all the way back to child's pose, knees wide. Maybe you extend the arms out. And you breathe here. You do one more breath. You come back up to hands and knees. So let's play with our spinal stabilization. So we're going to come a little off center. What this is going to look like is you're going to find extension. You're going to come a little off center and in. Try and avoid coming all the way out. There's no reason for the arm to come out and the leg to come out. You'll notice the hip and the pelvis kind of get out of whack, and so does the shoulder. So just find extension, off center, center, and lower down. Let's try that. Engage the belly, right arm, left leg. Inhale, exhale a little off center. Inhale, center, and exhale down. Do it again. Inhale, extension. Exhale, off center, center, and down. Let's do it with the breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and down. Last time. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and down. And a big cat stretch one last time. sink back towards child's pose. One more breath. And come back up all the way onto knees for this one. This is what I call Camel Prep. Not really sure what else to call it because it basically preps you. If you're not comfortable on the knees, try a blanket. If that doesn't work, sit down. We're not going to be here too long and we'll catch up to you. I want you to imagine that you're standing in mountain pose, but you're standing on the knees. So the idea is that we lift this energy up and we lift, right? We don't thrust the hips forward. We don't thrust the chest forward, right? Shoulders on the back body. A little tiny lift, Mula Bandha. That's your pelvic floor activation. And on an exhale, gently draw the navel center in and up, Uddiyana Bandha. You're going to take the arms close to the body, reach up, inhale. Exhale as the hands come down, sink the hips in the direction of child's pose. The arms come out, and we come up by bringing the hands in and up. And exhale, take it down and out. Inhale, take it up. And exhale, take it down and out. You continue to move through that. Remember that if your knees don't like the bend, maybe you slide out into puppy pose, keeping the tush up, right? Inhale and exhale. Don't rush. Use the whole breath. The whole inhale and the whole exhale. One more time. The next time you come up, stay and breathe. We're going to play with just the basic idea of Cobra. Camel. We're going to engage the belly, lift up, shoulder blades on the back. And all I want you to do is take the right arm up, lift up. Don't thrust the hips forward. Don't thrust the rib cage. The idea is that you keep lifting through the front body. The more you lift, a little bit of an arc you get. The arm comes straight up. If your back and shoulders are okay, maybe the arm drifts back. The other hand, I keep mine on my hip to remind me not to thrust it forward. If you need the other hand on the sacrum for protection, you can do that. You're still breathing. One more breath. Head comes first, the arm will follow. Bring it down. Slide back into cat's cow and just a gentle cat-cow. Maybe one more time. Let's try that with the left arm. So we're going to come back up, right? But we're going to go through Camel Prep again. We're going to change what the arms do. If your back is tight or your core is not quite strong enough, you're going to keep the arms close to the body, up and down. If you want a little bit more, you can take the arms up and take them out away from the body. You can come up the same way. That's a little harder on the back, so maybe you split the difference, right? Arms extend out on the way down and come close to the body on the way up. You've got choices. Moving, inhaling. Maybe one more time. And the next time you're on the knees, stay there. Let the arms rest at your side. Readjust the knees if you got a little wonky there. Remember to pull up. Pull up. The more you pull up, you lift from the sternum. Pull up. Pull up. And maybe the left arm comes up right up to the ceiling, not along the ear. Lift through the heart center. Hand can rest hip or low back. Maybe the arm drifts back a bit. And you still breathe. One more breath. Head comes first, the arm will follow. One more time, hands and knees, maybe a little cat-cow. And one more time, come up onto the knees. If you want to try a little bit variation on camel, a little closer to the full expression of the pose, you can tuck the toes Remember to pull up, pull up. I don't want you hurting your back. You give a gentle engagement from the tush, but don't squeeze it too hard. Maybe we start with hands on the hips, across the sacrum. Take the right arm up. Maybe the left arm up. This is unsupported, right? You can take and stay here. Some of you know you can take the hands back to the heels, maybe one heel and one arm up. This is my variation. This is what I do. One arm at a time. It's better for my low back. And then I come up and I switch. Now if you want to do both arms, feel free. One more breath where you are. Head comes first, arm follows. One last time, hands and knees. And a big cat stretch. And from here, sink very gently in the direction of child's pose. And maybe you stay up for a moment. Your back might actually be a little snug. And then maybe in segments, right? Go to forearms. And then go to fists. And then stack the hands. And then if the head wants to rest on the floor, you can go there. One more breath. And then coming back up, let's make our way back to simple seated Sukhasana. We'll take a moment, check in with the low back. So we're going to do our seated core work that we like, and then we'll do Firebirds. Uh-oh, I said Firebirds. You can't turn the video off. You got this far. You don't have to do them, but don't leave just because we're going to do Firebirds, okay? Robbie. Fingertips on the floor, shoulder blades on the back. We're going to go back to simply finding that lateral stretch. So we're going to inhale up and exhale back. Just listen for the changes in the hands. You're going to inhale up and exhale back. This is the most support. So if you've got back, shoulder, neck issues, something going on, and you need the support of the hand on the floor, you're going to stay here. If you want a little more work, the hands come to the knees. Right? Inhales up and exhales down. Maybe you want a little less support. The palm is up when the hand comes to the knee. Inhale up. This means that you're having to use more core activation to lift and to control this descent, right? You're not relying on catching yourself with your hand. Now, if you want, we can come up and extend the arms. You can keep with the hands on the floor if you like. And as you take the right arm up, the left hand's going to tap the opposite thigh, and you come back up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's do it one more time. Inhale and exhale. And come back, arms extended. Lift the heart for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release, roll shoulders. Maybe a little seated cat. Now we're going to move on to Firebirds. Firebirds are basically chaturanga push-ups, but we do them from a different angle. So may or may not need the blanket. I don't use the blanket, but feel free. We're going to tuck the feet off to my right, so maybe your left to begin with. Going to lift up nice and tall. Now, if you can't sit here comfortably, your pelvis is a little askew, so if your back doesn't like this, you can take that blanket and tuck it gently underneath the side of the hip that's away from your feet. It kind of balances your pelvis. You just want to make sure it's not in the way. So inhale nice and tall. I'm going to rotate the hands fairly close to the thighs. They're not touching, but maybe just 2 or 3 inches. You're going to lift, lengthen. Inhale and exhale. So nice and easy. Inhale out and down and exhale up. Now you can breathe on this any way you want. Maybe you like to exhale down, inhale up. Any way is fine as long as you're not holding the breath. Also, if you have a tendency to kind of lead with the chin and you're rounding, try taking the head to the side. Push forward. The body is long here, right? Elbows have a nice bend in them. Take it 2 more times. One more time. And bring it up. You're going to come center. You can take the legs out or go back to Sukhasana. Maybe some ankles or wrist circles rather, maybe some digit manipulations here. And we're going to go to the other side. Take a moment, tuck, sit up nice and tall. Again, adding that blanket if you like. Rotate the torso, hands on the floor. Inhale and exhale. Inhale up, maybe exhale out. Maybe you breathe the other way. Inhale and exhale. Remember that if you lead with the chin, just turn the head to the side as you descend. Look back down at the mat before you start. 2 more times. I really wasn't counting. 1 more time. And as you come back to the center, come back to Sukhasana. And again, wrist circles, fists. We're going to do that 1 more time on both sides. We're going to add that leg extension. Leg extension takes some of the work out of the arms, but it does put it more into the core. So again, tucking off to your left. Right. Sitting up nice and tall. The top leg, as we descend, is going to extend out. Okay? So it looks like this. You'll find extension, and you can bring that foot back in, let the foot and knee rest. Or you can give it some height. Don't let it touch the floor again. That's a lot more core work. So lift, rotate, and extend. Here we go. Full extension, crown of the head to the heel. Come back in. Rest the foot if you like. Inhale, exhale. Shh. Maybe you keep that foot up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time. And as you come up, right into Sukhasana and take a moment. And let's switch to the other side. Almost done with this part anyway. Sitting up nice and tall. Find rotation, hands on the mat. Lengthen, inhale. And find extension. Exhale. And bring it in. Inhale. And exhale. Remember to rest that foot if you want. Or bring it up. Two more times. One more time. Bring it up. Right into Sukhasana and breathe. Beautiful. And we're going to take it all the way down. Now you put the blanket now underneath your head. Just don't overstuff, okay? You don't need that much. You're going to roll all the way down. Take a moment or two here and let yourself rest. Let the back and shoulders feel that gentle tug of gravity. Take a long, slow inhale and a long, slow exhale. If your pelvis and low back were getting tight, maybe you sway those knees side to side. Inhales up and exhales over. Maybe you draw the knees in and rock side to side. One more breath. Let's play a little bit of bridges. Bring the feet fairly close to your bum and in line with the sit bone, so not as wide as you think your hips are. And remember that if your knees don't like this angle, maybe you take the feet a little further out. And let's spiral shoulder blades underneath the body. It really makes the palms turn up or at least turn in. Remember, not too much blanket under the head. That just puts too much pressure on the neck. Imagine you're standing on those feet. Spread the toes. A little lift through the pelvic floor. Mula Bandha. Draw the navel center in and up. Uddiyana Bandha. And let's lift the hips. Press into the feet. Inhale, float up. Stay at the top. Strong inner thighs. I'm not trying to touch the knees, but the arms are underneath you. The legs are strong. You're not rolling to the outer edge of the feet. Just give 2 more breaths. One more breath. And on your next exhale, lower down. Stay at the bottom and breathe. Let's try it again. On an inhale, press into the feet and float up. Again, strong inner thighs. You feel yourself kind of wrapping around. The tush is engaged, but it's not a heavy grip. One more breath. On the exhale, lower down. And if you want a little bit more lift through the heart center, you can go to Gunslinger Hands, bending at the elbows, fingers pointing towards the ceiling. And we'll walk those elbows underneath and close to you. Press into the feet, but also press into the back of the arms. And see how much more height you get, being careful about your neck. And then when you get here, hands can come down like you're holding a beach ball. Now, some of you know that you can try and interlace fingers, but you've got to be able to get the arms underneath. If you're interlacing fingers and the elbows come out, compromises the shoulders. You might just be better off right here for a while. Right? One more breath. And on the exhale, lower down, relax the upper back. Maybe sway the knees a little side to side, or maybe hug the knees in and sway side to side. Bring the feet back to the floor and the arms by your side. A little bit more freedom in the arms, maybe the feet a little further away. I'm going to add simple lift through the shoulders, through the arms into the shoulders. So you're not going to have the same amount of lift through the chest and upper torso, so don't force. When you're ready, turn thumbs up, press into the feet, inhale, float up. The arms also come up. And as you exhale, bring everything down. This is just releasing the shoulders. Inhale, come up. And exhale, come back. Now, if your arms aren't comfortable against the mat, maybe they're not coming all the way down, roll a blanket up for the arms to rest on, or a couple of pillows on either side. Check the balance in your feet. You want to be pushing into basically the four corners of the foot, right? We have a tendency here to drive through the heels, right? To drive through the heels, but that can push us back. We don't want to do that. We want to drive straight up through the whole foot and come back down. Maybe do that 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. Do it 1 more time. Inhale and exhale. Release at the bottom. Relax the shoulders. Let's start to stretch a little bit. Maybe hug just the right knee in and extend the left leg out. Having the left leg extended is uncomfortable for your back. Don't do it. Okay? Once you get here, if you're okay with this, maybe that left arm reaches up and overhead, remembering that if the arm is hovering here, to put a block or a blanket so that it rests on either the floor or the block or the blanket. Breathing. One more breath. Take that left hand, hold the right knee, and just draw that right knee across the body. The right arm comes down somewhere around 9 o'clock. And just stay and breathe. About 2 or 3 breaths here, and then we'll play. Definitely letting the shoulder come down. If it's up here, that's a lot of torque on the shoulder. Slide back down. It's not trying to get the knee to the ground here. It's how far can I rotate, still keeping the shoulder connected to the floor. And we're going to play with a little rock and roll. So we're going to rock the hip back just about 1 inch. Inhale. And exhale, roll open and stay. Let's do that again. Inhale, rock back. And exhale, roll open and then stay. Check in. Does it feel different? 1 more time. Rock back as you inhale. Roll open on the exhale and stay and breathe. One more breath. And come slowly back to the center. Feet on the floor. Balance the pelvis if it slipped out of the way or out of center. And when you're ready, hug the left knee in and the right leg either extends out or stays bent. Take a moment here. Maybe you reach out through that right heel, opening up a little more through the hip. Maybe the right arm reaches up and overhead. Stay and breathe. One more breath. And then that hand, the right hand, comes and holds that left knee and draws it across the body. As the left arm comes out around 3 o'clock, now stay here. Check in, let that shoulder relax back down to the mat. Maybe one more breath here. And then we'll start that rock and roll. Rock back just about an inch or so. Inhale. And exhale, roll open. Stay here and breathe. One more time. Inhale, rock back. And exhale, roll open. And we stay and breathe. Do it one last time. Roll open. And rock back. Maybe one more breath. And come slowly back to the center. One more time, bend the knees, check in with the pelvis. And let's move through 2 rounds of supine twist. And this is where you might need blocks, or a blanket. Feet and knees together. And you're not going to take the knees over the body this first round. You're just going to inhale and exhale. Just let the knees fall from where they are. Over to the right side. Now they might need a block between the knees or under the knees. That, okay? Or like that. But the key here is to keep this left shoulder down. And this is almost more of a lean than a real spinal rotation because the knees are so much further away from the angle on the hips, which might give you a little bit more in the actual hip and into the IT band. I'm not saying you're not going to feel something in the low back. It's just different for everyone. Maybe one more breath, maybe 2. And then bring the knees up and check in. If you had a block, take it over to the other side. Inhale here. And let those knees fall to the left. And I do start with a block on this side. Again, if I tried to get my hip down, my knees down, my shoulder's going to pop up, right? So I want to keep the anchor point, and I start with a block underneath the bottom leg. And that kind of gives me a chance to see where I'm at today. And then over time, I might move the block, maybe even go between the knees. And then I can let it go, maybe not today. One more breath. And you come slowly back to the center. Check in the pelvis for a moment. Make sure it's right back to neutral. This time we are going to bring the knees over. So maybe bring the knees up and over. Again, you start with that block if you like, and the knees come over to the right. Start with the block under or between the knees. Check in. Left shoulder stays down. And then change to no block or assist. Go to block to blanket maybe. And on this one, since we did the Firebirds, maybe we open up from across the chest wall. So your left arm is somewhere around 3 o'clock. Maybe you slide along the floor to 2 or to 1. A diagonal reach, opening up through the chest wall. One more breath. The arm always comes back to its neutral place first. And bring the legs up. You can do 1 leg at a time or 2. And we come back to center. Check in with the pelvis. Move that block over. I'm going to bring the knees up and over to the left. And again, maybe we start with a block underneath that left knee or in between the knees, and we check in with that right shoulder. And then over time, as the hip relaxes, as we release some tension, we can change the block, the support, blocks, blankets, whatever. And you'll notice the right arm somewhere around 9 o'clock. If you want, we can slide it up to 10 or 11. Again, a diagonal reach. Right. Neck is neutral. And you breathe here. One more breath. And slowly bring that right arm down. Bring the knees back to center. Find constructive rest pose. Feet wide. Knees come together to hold each other up. Now if that's uncomfortable, maybe you try pigeon-toeing the feet, right? If that doesn't work, you just come back to base with the knees wide. And spend a moment or two here. Letting the breath settle, feeling tension release from the jaw. Slow, steady breathing. We're going to bring the feet in, go to Supta Baddha Konasana. Feet come together, the knees fall open, and perhaps you put blocks or blankets underneath. Underneath the knees or thighs, and stay for about 3 to 5 breaths. Really relax the eyes. Release tension in the jaw, neck and shoulders. And this is where the breath falls into something neutral and natural. Let go some of vritti. Let go a breath that feels like you're having to work. And then when you're ready, slide the legs out long and away. Feet a little wider than the hips, so that when the hips relax, the feet will just fall open. You can stay here for Shavasana. You can go back to constructive rest pose if you've got a bolster or some rolled up blankets, maybe to go under the knees. If you want to take time, put socks on or a sweater. Throw a blanket over you. Make yourself comfortable. You just spend some time watching the pattern of your breathing. Noticing that each exhale gives you the opportunity to sink a little. Maybe you can do a little progressive relaxation or progressive release. On your next exhale, soften behind the eyes. On your next exhale, release tension in the jaw. Your next exhale, feel the weight of the torso as it sinks into the mat. Next exhale, feel the arms and the legs grow heavy. And you find that place where you no longer feel the tug of gravity, that sensation of being pulled down to the mat. Instead of resisting gravity, feeling that tug, surrender to gravity. And as you do that, you actually start to float. You find that place where the breath comes easy and the body feels light. Watch the pattern of your breath, and you start to watch the inhale a little more closely. And you begin to notice that at the top of the inhale is done, and the exhale hasn't begun yet, that there's a moment between the breaths. A moment. Don't hold the breath. Just notice this moment when the exhale hasn't begun and the inhale has ended. There's an arc to the way we breathe, an arc to the inhale and the exhale. So come to watching the exhale a little more closely. At the bottom of the breath, the exhale's done and the inhale hasn't begun yet. There's another moment. Again, not holding the breath, just noticing that moment. And as you smooth out the edges of the breath, noticing the pause between the breaths, the gap. In the gaps between the breaths, you notice that there is no breath. What you might also begin to notice is that where there is no breath, there are no thoughts. And where there are no thoughts, there's no stress or strain, no worries. In the gap between the breaths is silence. And in that silence is a sweet stillness. Cultivate that stillness for a few more moments in the gaps between the breaths. Then slowly let go of the awareness of breath and rest in that stillness that you created with your practice. Begin to slowly bring your awareness back. Feel the way the body rests against the floor. Feel the softness of blankets or pillows. Start to reach your senses outward. Maybe my voice is a little bit louder, or you're suddenly aware of sounds in the room or outside the room, outside your house. And you come back to that breath and you let your next inhale be full and rich. Expand the breath. Sigh that breath out. Do that one more time. A long inhale, expanding the belly and the ribs. And as you let the breath go, start to find movement. Sway side to side, rock that body. Maybe you wiggle fingers and toes. And when you're ready, bend the knees, walking the feet back in. And you take your time and roll to whichever side feels the best. And when you're ready, with your inhale, bring yourselves up to Sukhasana. Sukhasana could be cross-legged or diamond or even the legs extended. We'll end like we usually do. Raise the right hand, the mudra for no fear. We extend the left, the mudra of giving and receiving. It is without fear we give and without fear we receive. Hands coming to pranams and to the heart. We'll close with Om and Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Inhale, take a breath. Let this breath go. Inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste, everyone. I miss your faces very much. Namaste.